I'm back. Hello, welcome to my knitting podcast. I'm Madison, and this is my channel where I share my knitting mostly, and then sometimes weaving and spinning and fiber things, and you know how it goes. I took an accidental break from YouTube. I think my last video was in May. Does that sound right? So the whole summer was on summer break. And yeah, we'll see. I always have the intent of showing up here in a very regular way, and it just has not worked out for me yet. And I'm working on that, and we'll see how that goes. Keep you posted. I was kind of in a knitting slump this summer. I was still like knitting on things and tinkering away, but not really feeling very focused or inspired or motivated by any of my knitting projects. I did do quite a bit of weaving, which maybe I can share at a later date. I've been trying to document more like via written form, so I've started a Substack newsletter, which is like I roll everyone and their mom I feel like has a Substack now, but it is a really great platform as like a creator, but then I think it's also nice as a consumer because you can get it via email, or if you just want to like read it like a blog, you can go to the site. I'll have that linked below, but that's where I've been kind of trying to document more of my weaving process. And then as I've gotten back into the knitting mojo the last few months, I've been writing more about what knitting stuff I'm working on. So if that is of any interest, you can check out what's over there. Just kind of like ramblings. If you've known me in real life for like a really long time, you might remember that I had a blog, like a good old WordPress blog back in the day, and not crafting related at all, but I really loved the blogging format, and so writing on Substack feels kind of like returning to that in a lot of ways, which has been really fun. So that's new. What else is new? I have a new camera. Hopefully this is working out. Hopefully my phone is still recording. Okay. Gonna try a new audio setup today. We'll see how this goes. So today, just had some coffee, so hopefully I'm talking at a good speed. Feeling very energized. I'm already sweating though. Okay. Today, what I would like to share with you is a few test knits that I finished over the summer. Well, one I had finished I think in my last video, but it hadn't been released yet, so I couldn't share it, but now I can share it and I'm very excited. And then some socks, still going on the socks, even though I took a break on those for a lot of the summer. But we're back and we are grooving on the socks. And then Rhinebeck plans. Oh my gosh, the biggest thing. Rhinebeck is in 3 weeks from today. I'm filming this on a Friday, and I am so excited but stressed because I wasn't working on my Rhinebeck sweaters all summer long like I should have been, and now I want to try to finish like so many things. So I'm gonna show you what I think just the one sweater that I'm really trying to finish for Rhinebeck, and I think I will have it done. And then I have a few background sweaters that I'm kind of like maybe I can finish them, but if I don't finish them, it won't be the end of the world. I have a drawer of sweaters that I can also pick from to take to Rhinebeck with me, and it probably won't even be that cold. And then after that, I am going to share some new yarn that I've acquired. I was at the Kansas City Yarn Crawl last weekend, which is my hometown, so I went home to visit my family and do the yarn crawl, and it was so fun, and I came back with a few goodies, so I will share that. And yeah, I think we'll go from there. This is the first test that I would like to share with you today. It is a gorgeous cardigan that was designed by Goodwin Johnston. I tested it for her in April, May time, and then it was in the Lina magazine that came out over the summer. I think it came out in August, and sorry for the New York City sounds. I bet you that's the street cleaner. My arch nemesis. I can't remember exactly which Lina issue it is, but it is the one that came out in August of 2024. So I will try to put that in the show notes once I look that up. And yeah, let's see. This cardigan is knit with Jamieson's Shetland 2-ply jumper. I actually bought the yarn for this entire thing from the Woolly Thistle. So I got a cone of the gray Shetland, which I'm like, I love the name of Shetland so much. It was like so fun. And then the mohair, I held it with mohair, which is the Biche et Bouche Le Petite mohair and silk in white. So kind of has like a subtle marl to it if you look at it really closely, because I've got the gray Shetland with the white mohair. Found these cute buttons on Etsy. And yeah, I knit the pocket as my swatch, which felt doubly productive. I think, I'm pretty sure I knit the entire thing on a US 6. I used my favorite needles from Cowgirl Yarn, which are a Knitter's Pride wooden needle. Usually I'm a metal needle knitter, but I think it's like the Knitter's Pride Naturals line. Cowgirl Yarn is a yarn store out in Laramie, Wyoming, and they have, I don't know what it is exactly. I'm not sure how. It's definitely Knitter's Pride needles, but they say Cowgirl Yarn on them, and they are just like a slick wood that is really nice, so it doesn't feel like super sticky. But I only have those needles in a US 6, so it's always fun when I get to use them. And yeah, I think it looks pretty simple, but has some really nice details to it. Started bottom up, and then the back is in stockinette and the front is in reverse stockinette. So that kind of keeps it interesting. You're kind of, you're switching as you go around. You've got a nice kind of faux seam on the side, and then a nice little detail in the back, which is like a pearl, I guess it's a reverse stockinette ridge, technically, I'm not sure. Saddle shoulder construction, which you've got these nice kind of faux seams again along the front and the back. And then a garter, what is this called? Button band. So yeah, it was oh my gosh. Oh, that's on the inside. I was like, I have an end sticking out. That is just on the inside, that's fine. It's very warm. So I'm excited to pull it out this winter. I went to our family's lake cottage in Wisconsin over Labor Day weekend, and it's like northern in the boondocks type of vibe. And it was already pretty chilly, so I took that sweater with me there. Came in really handy. I'm very excited to wear it all winter long. It's like nice to have a cardigan to just like throw on. And yeah, knitting with Shetland is like my favorite thing. I have so many, I want to do so many like Fair Isle Shetland traditional projects. I'm like marinating on some ideas. Anyway, I got a Stanley over the summer. It was exciting. The next test knit that I did this summer was also a fun one, and it was the Vice Versa shawl for Bridget Jo. Bridget designed this for the Flock Fiber Festival, which I did not attend, but it was fun to knit this and kind of like pretend like I was there in spirit. And it is fabulous for handspun. As you can see, I've used the color changing yarn is some of my hand spun. Um, and it's all in brioche. I feel like this is what I was kind of knitting away at for most of the summer, and it was, I mean, brioche does kind of take a while because it feels like you're doing twice as much knitting as you would normally do, but it's very, I don't know, potato chippy, I guess. Easy to pick up and put down, especially with this pattern repeat. Once you get going, it's, you know, you kind of just knit and knit and knit, and it's like very mindless, but not also not mindless because it's brioche. You can see a kind of the brioche, like the main color and contrast color, kind of switch on each side. So this side is looking more colorful because you've got that hand spun coming out as the knit stitch, and then this side is like the opposite, so vice versa. And then it's like reversible, so that's fun. And she has two sizes. I can't remember if I said that already. There's two sizes in the pattern. I did the smaller one, and I was really happy with this, how this turned out. The bigger one is more shawl-like, but I think this is gonna be perfect for wearing it. Like, this feels like a very functional shawl scarf to me. And like my Sophie scarves get a lot of wear in the winter because I find that in New York I need, like, you want something to cover you. Like when it's really cold, you want to bundle up, like walking to places obviously, but then getting to like the subway or even like to a destination, the heat is blasting everywhere. So to have like a huge, like massive shawl that goes all the way around is too much for me to handle. I'm like sweating immediately, and I don't enjoy sweating. But this I think is gonna get a lot of use and is gonna be warm but still like light enough and easy enough to throw in my bag and take on and off, that it's not gonna drive me insane. I really enjoyed knitting this. Bridget has great videos to go along because the construction is, it starts with this center spine, so she kind of walks you through how to do that in a really great way. And I think if you're like wanting to try brioche for the first time, this is a great place to start. Yeah, it's so fun. 10 out of 10 recommend. I would knit another one. I think it also might make a good gift. And I used the, I don't think I talked about my yarns. This burgundy color is Pearl Soho Good Wool, which is one of my all-time favorite yarns to use. It's a nice sport weight, blooms really lovely. And then the color changing yarn is some of my hand spun that I spun last, I guess now 2 summers ago, summer 2023. The fiber is from Nest Fiber. I can't remember the fiber content off the top of my head. But I spun it at like a very like light fingering weight, and it worked perfectly. Like, this combo was gorgeous. Loved it. So yeah, that's that on that. Thank you, Bridget, for having me in your testing group. If you're watching this, it was a lot of fun. Now I'd like to talk about some socks. I feel like I've discovered the joy of colorwork cuffs in sock knitting, and it's been a lot of fun. So first up is my Mazie Socks. This is a pattern from Summerlee Knits. I would definitely recommend looking up her version because her sample and her pattern is so cute. This, I feel like was a good getting me into colorwork cuffs. I've tried colorwork socks before and have always failed. They've always been like too tight or too big, like they come out really kind of wonky. And so on this pair I started with my usual US 1 needle for the cuff, and then I switched to a US 1.5 for the colorwork. And this colorwork pattern repeat is it goes by very fast. It's like, you know, short floats, lots of color changes. So I was feeling really inspired by Summer's version. She did a speckle yarn for her foot, but I don't know that my choice of speckle yarn here was the like best match. I was really focused on like what this color combo was for the cuff, making sure there was contrast and kind of like a fun range of colors, and I'm pretty happy with it from the cuff up. And I think if this speckle yarn had been more of a blue tone base instead of like a white with speckles, maybe I would like it more, or maybe if it was more orangey, I don't know. So I just don't think the color work plus this speckled yarn is like the best combo, but I'm still gonna wear these. And really I think the cuff is all that's really gonna be visible if I'm wearing them, so it's fine. They fit really well and I'm really happy with how they turned out. And I guess I should say I switched back to a US 1 needle after the color work, and then I also subbed in a Fish Lips Kiss heel because the heel flapping gusset life is not one that I live. So yeah, really happy with these. And then I think when I was working on those is when Summer Lee started her Colorwork Cuff Club, which is genius in my opinion. She gives you kind of a base sock recipe, and then each month she provides you with a Colorwork cuff pattern and chart. So last week when I was at the Kansas City Yarn Crawl, I knew I was gonna need something little to work on while we were driving around between the stores, and had this yarn combo that I've been thinking about ever since I saw the August Colorwork cuff come out, and this is where I'm at. So cute. I'm obsessed with this. It's so much easier just having one contrast color for the color work versus the Mazie Socks with like the 5 different colors. And yeah, followed the same kind of setup here. Cast it on with a US 1, and I actually cast it on with I think a few less stitches and then did a round of increases when I started the stockinette right before the color work, and then I switched to a US 1.5 needle for the color work, and then I worked some stockinette before starting the heel. And this heel is actually the shadow wrap heel from Denise of the Earth Tones Girl podcast. It is in her Socksploration pattern, and I am converted. I've been doing the Fish Lips Kiss. They're very similar, the Fish Lips Kiss heel and the shadow wrap heel. They're both short rows, and I think I'm converted. This one was so easy, and I love how it turned out. So yeah. And then, yeah, it's the toe, and they're so cute. And I just got to the heel on my second one, and I'm hoping to finish it this week. So yeah, super cute. Really, really happy. The yarn is, pretty sure this is Plucky Knitter. I've had this yarn for a while in my stash, and the like info ball band has disappeared. I'm pretty sure it's Primo Fingering, which is their merino cashmere nylon base, and if it's Plucky Knitter, then I got it at Nitty City here in New York City. Um, that is where I get my Plucky Knitter at. And then the navy blue that I'm using is just a random mini skein that I had. I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. Could be anything. Also, another new thing for me, while I was on the Kansas City Yarn Crawl, I picked up some US1 DPNs from Unwind, and I've been knitting this on DPNs, which is not something I have done before. I'm usually a magic loop sock knitter. That's how I learned how to knit socks. But I've just been feeling like I want to try a different method, see how it feels, and honestly I'm really loving the DPNs for socks. I made the bold claim of wanting to knit one pair of socks every month this year and took a few months off over the summer. And I'm actually not sure. I feel like this has to be sock number 6 at least for this year. I'm not quite sure, but I do have a feeling that these last few months my sock knitting is going to increase. I'm like really feeling the sock mojo. That's my socks story, my sock exploration. So Rhinebeck is a few weeks away, 3 weeks I think we've got. I'm very, very excited. If you're going to Rhinebeck, let me know. I am going with my mom and my sisters per usual, and then we're bringing a new friend. Well, she's not a new friend, but a friend who is, this will be her first Rhinebeck experience, so we're very excited to show her what it's all about. We're doing a lot of the events on the Friday, so I'm excited to see everything. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good year. I have just really good vibes, good feelings for it. I'm excited, even though I feel like I'm the least prepared in terms of like my Rhinebeck sweater. But it'll get done, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, last year I think I was like, I'm starting my Rhinebeck sweater early. Don't want to be stressed leading up to October, and want to have everything done in a good place. This year, feeling a little stressed, feeling a little like I have a deadline to knit against, but it's fine. I also was feeling like, oh, I don't know what I want to knit for Rhinebeck. I always want it to be something special and like, you know, to remember the weekend. It's such a fun experience. It's such a fun time to like be in that area of New York and all of the sheep and yarn. So anyway, so I was kind of like waiting for like this moment of inspiration to strike me for like my Rhinebeck sweater, and that I feel like just didn't come. All that to say, I landed on a sweater that I've been meaning to make for a long time. I've had the yarn for it for I think 4 years. Crazy. This yarn has now lived in 3 apartments with me over the course of our life together, and it's finally getting knit up and I'm very excited. So let me show you the sweater. I finished the body of it earlier this week, a couple days ago. Here she is. And I'm on the first sleeve. We're making really good progress, I think. It's honestly, for an all-over Colorwork sweater that is fingering weight, it's gone extremely fast. I casted this on Labor Day weekend, so that's like the first weekend of September. And what's today? So in less than a month, I had the body done. It's the 27th today. And yeah, I'm like getting close to halfway through the sleeve chart. maybe. That might be, I'm like probably a third of the way done with the sleeve chart. And then after that, it'll be done. So, let me tell you about this sweater. This is the Festive Doodle, which is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. And as I mentioned, it's all over Colorwork, fingering weight. I don't think this is considered a traditional Fair Isle sweater in terms of like the, you know, the bands of patterns that repeat. But it does feel like Fair Isle in that there's very short floats and you're only ever using 2 colors at a time. This has really reignited my love for color work, I think, and also the socks too. It's just so fun. And yeah, I love working from a chart. I love that it's stockinette, but the color changes keep it interesting as you go along. It feels like it honestly has felt like I've spent a day working on this. Like it's gone by so fast. And I'm so excited. So yeah, that's this. The story of this sweater though, as I mentioned, starts 4 years ago. There was a yarn store in Ojai, California. I never went to it, but if you ever watched Christy Glass, her old yarn store tours were so amazing. She did a tour of this store in Ojai called Cattywampus Crafts, and I loved their Instagram, and they just had a really good selection of yarns. I felt like they were, it honestly felt like the Brooklyn General Store of California to me. And not that I, you know, obviously I don't know every yarn store out there, but I just like loved the yarn that they curated and the patterns that they did with their knit nights, and they did a lot of knit alongs and stuff. So anyway, so 4 years ago, literally 4 years ago, it was fall 2020, they did a Festive Doodle knit along as a store and sold yarn kits. And I had knit, I don't know how many, I hadn't knit very many sweaters at that point. And definitely I had never knit a fingering weight sweater before. I ordered the kit for this from Cattywampus. So the colors, from what I remember, they, like this color scheme is what they curated. I think they might have had 2 different color schemes. I don't know, it doesn't matter. The store sadly is no longer in business. They decided to close a couple years ago, but the yarn is Sea Change Fibers, which I didn't know of. It's in the Seacliff fingering weight, and yeah, 100% Rambouillet, I'm assuming non-superwash, and yeah, I don't remember picking out the colors, so I'm pretty sure this was a color scheme that they decided and I went with. But this is the yarn. So a blue, a brown, a kind of variegated gray, and a white. And this yarn is so soft. It's going to be a really amazing sweater. I'm very excited about it. I had originally casted this on after receiving the kit in 2020. Got maybe, I think, to like here on the yoke. Not far at all. Set it down to work on other things and literally just never picked it back up again. But it was always like in the back of my mind, like, I want to knit that Festive Doodle so bad. And I'm so excited for the finished object of this. So this is my Rhinebeck sweater. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if all goes to plan, I will be wearing this on Saturday of the New York Sheep and Wool. Hopefully it's like just chilly enough where I won't be sweating. But I'll definitely be wearing a t-shirt underneath in case I need to take it off. I'm just so excited to finally be working with this yarn and be using it. Like I said, it's moved with me multiple times at this point, so it feels good to like turn the yarn into what it was meant to be. And I did not pick up, I like restarted the whole thing. I didn't even unravel what I had knit before. Um, it was like, it was not good. And so I just like cut the yarn and then restarted completely. I've been knitting, because usually I knit continental, that's my go-to method, but with the Colorwork, I've been working on knitting with both hands, and I'm getting faster at it, and it definitely, I feel like, is like my tension, I think, has been really good throughout, and I think it's because of the double hands knitting. So yeah, that's Rhinebeck. I'm so excited. As I mentioned, I feel like every year I'm just like, Rhinebeck. Yeah, I am so excited. And so yeah, if you are going to Rhinebeck, I would love to hear like what your plans are. What are you looking to shop for? What are you wearing? Are you knitting a Rhinebeck sweater? Are you done already? Maybe next year I would love to be done with it like by the 1st of October. That's a good goal for next year. I'll remember that. I'm excited. That's it. I'm just excited about knitting again. Okay, last on my docket for today is some yarn. Some new yarn that I got recently. I just put it in this really cute petite knit tote bag that I've had for a few years. I love this thing. Anyway, like I said, I was at the Kansas City Yarn Crawl last weekend. It was my first time going to the Kansas City Yarn Crawl. It was really fun. There are 5 stores that partake in it. And I managed to get to all of them with my mom and my sister. And, you know, there was a lot of knitting along the way and like discovering new yarns and thinking about future plans, lots of knitting dreams being cultivated. So yeah, I picked up a few things which are all new to me yarns, as in I've never purchased them or knit with them, and I'm really excited. I also somehow managed to like literally not take a single photo of the yarn crawl, which I guess is fine. This is a video. And I do have some short video clips that I might put in if they're good. I honestly don't remember what I was doing that day other than like looking at yarn. On that Friday of the yarn crawl, my mom invited me and my sister to go along with her on this limo with a group of knitters from one of the yarn stores, and it was really fun. It was basically a party bus. We had mimosas to kick off the morning, and yeah, so that was fun. It's kind of like a more general Kansas City area yarn crawl. There's kind of like dispersed stores, so there was a lot of time on the bus for knitting and like having snacks and chatting it up, and so it was fun. A big thank you to Michelle, if you're watching. Thank you so much for organizing the yarn crawl limo. I know you've done it for a few years now, and also thank you so much for having me on it. It was so fun, and it was just an amazing day, so thank you. We started at Momo's, which I had never been to, so that was fun to visit that for the first time, and then we went to Yarn Barn, which is one of my favorites for weaving yarn. And then from there we went to Yarn Social, which is where I made my first purchases. Let's see, yes. First, I picked up this skein of Mondeem, which is 100%, it's a Portuguese yarn company. So this is 100% Portuguese yarn. And I just thought the colors were really cute. My sister also picked up a skein of this, and we are hoping to have matching socks to wear to Rhinebeck. I need to cast mine on ASAP. But yeah, it'll be my first time knitting with Mondeem, and I'm very excited. I think it's been one of those yarns that I've kind of been eyeing for a while. I know the Woolly Thistle has a really big selection of it, and yeah, I just think it's gonna make a really cozy sock. There's no nylon, which I'm kind of into. I'm kind of, I don't know, I haven't bought, well, I don't know if I should make that claim. I have nothing against it. I was just about to say that I haven't bought superwash yarn in a while. And I think that's true. I really haven't. And the only superwash that I have in my stash really is superwash like merino nylon blends for socks. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I really love wool and like minimally processed yarn. So I think that's where long term, in case you're wondering, that's where my knitting is hopefully heading. Anyway, that's a completely different thought. We don't need to go there. So yeah, Mondeem. If you've knit socks with this before, would love to hear your review. I'll give you mine as soon as I knit my socks. And then also Yarn Social, I picked up these. Noro, hello, color. Look at that. That is so fun. I got 2 of them. And I am going to hopefully knit some mitts with these, some fingerless mitts. This is the Curion base. Is that showing? Where is that? Just says 100% wool. I think it's kind of like a worsted weight singles. So fun. And yeah, I've never knit with Noro before. I think they have really fun colors and stuff. And I'm really excited to try this. And the mitts that I want to make, which I think I could have actually gotten away with one skein. I wasn't really thinking all that much. These are $13 a pop, so I was just like, I'll just get 2, I guess. The mitts that I want to make are out of this book, Knitter's Book of Yarn, by Clara Parks, and it is the Maine Morning Mitts. There we are. And she designed one of these. I don't know which sample it is in the photo. I thought this was a mirror, but actually I think it's 2 people with their hands together. I literally thought this was a mirror and the girl was holding up her hands. Anyway, she designed one of them. I think it's the one that's like closest, like most in focus here, with this Noro base. And yeah. So I'm excited. I think it's just a simple ribbed fingerless mitts pattern. And this is actually free. I was checking on Ravelry. You can get this, just this pattern as a free PDF from Ravelry. So, Maine Morning Mitts by Clara Parks. And yeah, I've been wanting some fingerless mitts. I have some in progress that I've been kind of self-drafting that I will share when I start knitting on them again. I have a small collection of hand knit mittens that are mostly from my mom that she's gifted me, and I love those. I keep a pair in like literally every single coat that I have, so I'm never without a pair of mittens. But I haven't knit a pair for myself in a while. I want to do some of the traditional like selbu, like Norwegian mittens this winter. I also want to knit a pair that I can use for when I go for runs outside in the winter. And also I think it would be handy to have some fingerless mitts around, because for when it's like cold but not like freezing cold, and I can still like need to use my phone and stuff when I'm out and about. So that's what the Noro is going to become. So after Yarn Social, I forgot we were on a yarn crawl. Yarn Social, we went to Unwind Fiber Arts, which was our last stop of the day. And that is also a great store. They have a really good selection of like La Bien-Aimée. Sorry, the siren interrupted my thoughts. LBA, Santa's Garn, Moondrake. What else is there? There's a lot of stuff. A good mix of commercially dyed stuff like Santa's Garn, and then also a lot of hand dyed. I decided to grab some Pure Gent, which is by Santa's Garn. It's a DK weight, 100% Norwegian wool, and I've never knit with it before. This is just like in a nice charcoal color. I got 2 skeins. I've promised to knit my boyfriend a hat, so that's what these are going towards. I'm also kind of using this as a test to see how I like Pure Gent. I really like their navy color, and I want just like a really simple, oversized navy, like raglan sweater. And so we'll see. And like someday maybe that will happen with Pure Gent. That kind of closes out my Casey yarn crawl experience. It was so fun. And then lastly, I wanted to share another yarn acquisition that I got. And it is from one of my faves, Junction Fiber Mill. Ooh, I feel like the yarn, or the orange is really popping here. This is their like special color that they just came out with a couple weeks ago, called Hunting Season. Hunter Orange. Yeah. And it's on their Farm Fresh blue-faced Leicester base. And I am going to knit a hat, maybe 2. I'm not sure how I got 2 skeins as just like a safety net to have like just in case. So I think I'm gonna do a modified Oslo hat, and I think I'm also gonna do an Oslo hat for the Pure Gent. I really like that pattern, and it's like, I like the double brim. Yeah, is that, I guess, does it become triple brim? Anyway, I like how the structure of it is. Like, it's not too thick up top, but the brim is really nice, and it's all in stockinette, which is amazing. This is like a heavy DK is what they call it. So I might have to like adjust the stitch count a little bit for the Oslo. But yeah, I think this is gonna be really cute for the winter time. I'm like, can I start knitting right now? I want to start knitting now. I'm really trying to like not cast on anything new until I have my festive doodle done. I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. If you have watched any of my videos before, then you probably know that I have like 100 projects on the needles. So a lot of those will come back. I have been working on a lot of things, you know, like a few rows here, a few rows there. And I think after Rhinebeck, I have a lot of things that I'm really excited to kind of wrap up and show. I've been working on my Find Your Fade with my Chelsea Yarns advent. It's like almost done. And some Moosh and Friends. What else have I been working on? Sweaters. And yeah, so I hopefully will be back here on YouTube before Rhinebeck, maybe. Is that crazy to think that I could do that? I would like to have a video before showing you what I'm gonna wear, what I finished, and then maybe some hand spun too. I've been doing a little bit of spinning, but again, I had like a very slow summer. I don't know what I was doing now that I look back. I guess I was watching TV and reading books. I don't know. Traveling some. I don't know. Anyway, summer's over. Thank goodness. It is not my favorite. And yeah, I'm excited for fall, excited to be back here with you again. Thank you for your patience. If you are returning, just happy to share the things that I'm excited about, and I hope they inspire, and I hope you're excited about whatever you're knitting on. And if you're coming to Rhinebeck, I hope to see you there. And I think that's it. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.